What's good, SC fam? Your boy Stax is in the building.
And your girl, Chrissy.
And today we got a reaction for you guys. We're going to react, and then we're going to, just give our thoughts on the whole situation. But what's the situation?
Alright, so this girl is basically accusing me from Catfish that, he was, using sexual misconduct. I think that's what they're saying. So we're going to see what she had to say about it, and then just react to it, basically.
First of all, I just want to say this. Me and Chrissy been faithfully watching the show Catfish since we've been together.
Pretty more than him.
Pretty good show, you feel me? And it's kind of sad to hear this type of stuff come out.
Yeah.
Especially if it's true. It's like, dang, bro. I watched this guy's show.
Is, he honestly thought Neve was gay.
Bro, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that thought that. I mean,
I don't think
he kind of flamboyant. But anyway, what's the girl's name?
Aisha Morgan.
Her name is Aisha Morgan. We're going to leave a link to her original video down below in the description. Just in case you want to go check it out, in its entirety. But right now, let's go ahead and check it out. Go ahead and hit play for us, baby.
Welcome back to my channel. This video I've actually done 3 times. I feel like I've been conflicted. For one, this is an easy video. For 2, I had so many different opinions in my ear, and I felt like I was being tugged. I wanted to really figure out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to approach the situation before I put the video out. So that's why it's been taking me so long to upload the video. For those of you who know which video I'm talking about, I decided to change the name. I decided to just put in the title the truth. Disclaimer, obviously there has to be a disclaimer, especially with a video like this. My intentions of this video, with the show still being on the air and so many girls still doing the show, I would feel like a jackass if something happened and I hadn't said anything. I think about it every day if something has happened.
At this point, she was on season 4.
Okay. Well, dang, season 4?
So that was 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
Right? Because I don't know what season
I mean, but the thing is, whenever you are, it's kind of weird. Even we watch Law and Order, it's kind of weird. You can't judge somebody because they didn't come out about it right away. I know it makes it kind of tough to even listen to it when they don't come out right away, but you can't judge people in that situation because sometimes they don't want to be embarrassed by what happened or for people to call them liars and stuff like that. So they kind of are afraid to come out about it.
Why is she on, I seen she had another video before this and it was basically saying oh yeah, my experience on Catfish. Why are you entertaining it?
Because maybe she, alright, when she was on the show, she probably originally thought it as a clout up. Alright, bet I'm on TV. Yeah. I'm about to get some clout up. I'm about to make a video about it. People gonna search it. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. So that was her original plan. Also, although that may have happened to her, she maybe wanted to, like I said, maybe she was scared to come forward about it and wanted to, push it to the back of her head and just, try to make the best out of a bad situation that happened to her. Okay. Gotcha. So I don't know, but my main problem with this is her not getting to the point. I want to just get to the point, fam.
So we might even be skipping through because this is a long video.
This is my.
Don't need that long of a video.
This is my main thing. Get to the point, fam.
In the past 3 years that I didn't say anything, and I realized, I don't want to think like that. I want to hope that I was the only person that this experience happened to, but I just want to, let it be known that my sole purpose for this video to bring awareness and also for my peace of mind. I was gonna take this video to the grave and I realized that I can't do it for my sanity. I fell into the worst possible depression after this happened. I find myself every so often slipping back into it, and I realized that I'm never gonna get my closure or be able to move on unless I put what happened out there. I don't want any money. I don't want anything from these people. I'm well off. I own a business. My bank account's looking good, so I definitely don't need any money. That's definitely not even a thought. I would never put a situation like this out there for money. This is a serious situation, and I would never lie about anything that has to do with this topic for any amount of money. It just wouldn't happen. Like, you just don't lie about things.
I got a feeling that you kind of rocking with Neve in this situation. Like, all right, look.
I don't know. Like,
I don't know all of the information that you may know. So what do you know?
I don't know much. I seen
that makes you think that she's not telling the truth.
I just feel like she's not telling the truth because she just came out now out of all this
Crystal,
time. And I get what you're saying, but still, like,
all right. For example, what about all of
God forbid I got raped. I'm not gonna, keep.
But
that
that's
shit.
You.
Like that's dumb.
But that's
dumb.
you. What about all of the people that with the Bill Cosby situation? It was years, like tens of years before they even say anything about it. That don't change. That don't change the fact that it happened. Like I said, that's you. Like, maybe if something like this, God forbid, was to ever happen to you, you would come out about it right away. But other people aren't as strong, or even other people, I don't know. It's a tough situation. Like, I haven't been through a situation like that. I will pray that you or anybody else ever in the world never go through a situation like that. But every situation is different. Every person is different. You can't judge a person just because they didn't, come out right away. But anyway.
Things like that.
Let's get to the point.
So now we can just jump into this video. Alright, so let's start off with names. I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of the show. I'm going to name the two main people on the show, which you guys know who I'm talking about, obviously. Jack and John. Jack being the main person.
Neve.
Stay with me here. The first time I met Jack and John was like, oh, you're really pretty, and you look like a doll, and blah, blah, and like, I'm not against compliments. I'm not a prude. Like, compliment me up the ass if you want. That didn't bother me. It was the excessiveness that bothered me.
You come at her crazy.
Every break from filming, every time they said cut, you're like, oh, well, when can I take you on a date? Mind you, this is like 20 minutes in to us meeting for the very first time. I was in such an uncomfortable place and a freaking hard time in my life as well. I was at my most vulnerable, and I was at this really fucked up place in my life, and I have this guy over here making me like 3 times as uncomfortable as I already am, and he just kept asking me like, oh, so you're a lesbian or are you bisexual? And I was like, I'm a lesbian for the 50th fucking time. I'm a lesbian.
But look, it's a lot of things. All right, for example, there's a lot of things that you do, you feel me, that other people that's watching the video probably can't picture you doing.
Listen, we not about to do that. It's like you talking about.
I feel like you're looking at it one-sided. Now me, I can see both sides. Like I fully understand everything that you're saying, but you also got to look at it from her perspective as well. And I feel like you're only looking at it from one.
I'm looking at it from both.
You're not.
I'm 50-50.
You're not though. You're not looking at it from both. I'm gonna get to it at the end of the video.
He was just like, oh, okay.
But I do agree. It's hard to even hear him say, all like, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Also, I went back to go look at the episode she was on, and they took that thing off the internet, like off Hulu. It's not on Netflix, but I'm sure Amazon Prime, all that is off of there. You're not gonna find it. You can't find it on YouTube, nowhere. But continue.
Hey, like, I don't think you're a lesbian, and you need to let me take you out, and you're really pretty. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that he was just bullshitting and trying to make me feel like, trying to make me laugh and feel comfortable because everyone could see how uncomfortable I was. If you guys see how I'm looking, I have a mirror right there, and I'm home alone, and I'm scared shitless because my reflection is moving to the side of me. So if you see me keep looking off to the side, I'm looking at myself. Well, I'm like, it's the...
Get to the point. Like, let us know what happened, fam. I do also want to say that, does this confirm that the show is real? Because I always felt like some of those episodes was too crazy to be real.
No, I feel like they're real. They're just scripted to the point where they know what happened, you know what I'm saying? But they still let them go meet that person.
That's
how I think it. That's how I think
I thought they was setting a whole joint up and everything. I don't know. Because some of that stuff used to be too crazy to be real.
That guy.
Which one? The guy that changed his voice?
Yeah.
That was
mirror,
a bad episode.
I keep looking out over it to make sure it's not a fucking ghost. So that's why I'm going to keep looking off to the side because I'm creepy. You keep asking this girl when you can take her on a date. Like, chill. Like, it's not that serious. If you look on the episode, you can see him like at the edge of the couch. Like, as far as you could go on the couch because I was so uncomfortable because he kept scooting closer and closer to me. We have like a lunch break, so it's like longer. I think it was like an hour or 30 minutes or something like that. We're all sitting there and he goes, "What hotel do they have you at?" And I was just like, "Oh, like they have me at the Marriott." And he was just like, "Oh, like I'm at that hotel too. What room are you in?"
Woo.
And I was just like, "Oh, I'm somewhere on the 3rd floor."
He's trying to pull up.
And he was like, "Oh, okay, well maybe we can go in the jacuzzi later."
His wife is
and I was just like, this guy like doesn't know when to quit. But at this point, I just saw him as just a thirsty guy, and it was just funny. Like I was, I wasn't like, "Ooh, I hate this guy." Like, ugh, like no, it wasn't like that at all. Like I still thought he was a cool guy at this point. Like, we were getting to know each other, and I was getting to know the whole team because I had no idea it would be that many people. Like, I don't know why. I thought it would just be like Jack, John, and then like a camera person. But it's a lot that goes into it. There's so many, production assistants, producers, the executive producer. There's so many people that are with them. So we get to the airport, and like, these people, they do this all the time. They fly all the time. So they're with each other all the time. So they have their set people that they kick it with at the airport. And, they go off and do whatever. And some people just stick their headphones in. Like they get used to this routine. I had never been on a plane before, let alone an airport. So I was like a chicken with my head cut off. But luckily, I don't know about luckily anymore, but Jack was like, "Hey, like, I'll stick with you, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Oh, should have known, right?" So this is when things get really, like, past that line. You have a border, There's a border to where, okay, you're just being thirsty, and then you're being really, like, perverted. You know what I'm saying? And so we're at the airport, and we're sitting there, and I was like, I knew he was going to he was going to end up picking up the conversation from when he was trying to get to the previous day. Is my wife here? Oh, it's my dog. Like, out of the blue, he goes, "So, I don't think you're a lesbian." I was like, "Oh, and why do you feel that way?" And he was just like, "Because, like, I just feel like you haven't met the right guy yet, and do you think I'm attractive, and have you ever had sex with a guy?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Well, I think you should try it. I have a big... I would tear your ass up. Whoa! Not strike me down right now if I'm lying." Like, all the...
Whoa, bro. I know Neve was about that life. I know he was about that life.
You don't know if this is 100% true.
I'm just saying.
They're investigating right now.
I'm just saying.
For your sake, girl, I really hope this is true, because
if it's true,
they're gonna come for you. They're gonna come for you. Probably locked up.
That boy Neve about that life. Talking that talk, walking that walk.
So from what I'm thinking, I feel like you siding with her already.
No, I'm just.
From what I'm getting from you, the vibe and just how you speaking, I feel like you vibing with her. Like
I said, if first of all, if I want to side with her, I have every right to side with her.
I'm not saying don't side with her. I'm just saying you said you was 50-50.
I am. Like I'm 50-50. All right, I'm 50-50. Now let's get to this video, but. About that life.
This shit. And like, I'm shook because I'm like, the way you portray yourself on TV is totally different than the jackass you are in person. I'm over here mind blown. He was just like pushing and pushing and pushing and just kept saying like, "I don't feel like you're a lesbian. I feel like you need to reevaluate, and I'm the person you should do it with." Just like anything you could possibly say to make someone extremely uncomfortable. Let me move this little mirror right here. Anything you could possibly say. At this point, I was just like, you really just sat here for 2 hours and picked apart my sexuality. You do all these things to make me feel uncomfortable, and nobody's around. Like, I was assigned a producer while we were, in another, like, going to Houston and to watch over me in Houston and stuff. And I'm just like, why am I stuck with this guy? Like, nobody even knows the stuff he's saying. We go on the airplane. We don't sit together on the airplane. I sat with John, so that was cool. We, it was an easy flight, 3 hours. It was cool. So we land in Houston. We get to the airport. Jack gets into it with somebody. So they put me, mind you, it's like 10 of us. It was anywhere from 10 to 13 people, a part of the crew at this time. They put me, Jack, John, and one cameraman in a van because the guy had called security. So they put us in a van and sent us to the hotel right away. Mind you, it's like 1:30 in the morning. So we have to be up at like 6 a.m. to film. So everybody's just trying to get to sleep and figure out the hotel situation, get our room keys and all that good stuff. So we get there and the lady gives us a stack of keys. I got my key and it was like room 422 and Jack was like, mind you, it was just me, Jack, John, and the camera guy. The rest of the crew hadn't arrived yet. So we're in the lobby and Jack goes, hey, what room are you in? I was like, oh, I'm in room 22. And I was like, I'm in room 422. And he was like, oh, like, what a coincidence, me too. I mean, if you don't mind, I don't mind. And I was just like, haha, because I knew he was bullshitting. So I was like, haha, like, no, seriously, like, what room are you in? And he was just like, I'm in room 422. I asked him 2 more times. He was like, I'm in room 422. And I was just like, oh shit, like, it must have really been a mix-up. So then he goes, no, I'm just joking. I'm in room 410, but I can be in room 422. Or he said 409, actually, because I think he ended up switching rooms that night. It was one or the other, but these are the legit room numbers. I'm not joking. I don't need to make that up, like, whatever. But when he said that, I was just like, I didn't know what to say, because I was just like, oh my God, like, you just aren't going to stop. So then we were talking about how he had got into it with the guy at the airport, and I'm just like, chill, like, you have an anger problem. And he's like, yeah, I just need somebody to tame it and blah, blah. And I'm just like,
yo, all of this just sound like the ultimate thirst. Like, extreme thirst.
I would have been so uncomfortable. Extreme
thirst. That's crazy. I'm going to save my final thoughts for the end, but that's crazy. Yeah. That's wild.
Here we go again. Like, I can't even have a conversation with you and try to be your friend. Like, it was getting to the point to where it was so excessive that it was annoying as shit. So then the crew gets there and everybody's, like, getting their keys and sorting out their stuff or whatever. And my producer goes, hey, you can, hi, baby. It's my puppy, you guys. So my producer goes, hey, if you have your room key, you can head up because you have to be up early. Like, it's fine. Like, you can.
If she say Neve was waiting for her in the room with the bathrobe open, you know he got that jungle on his chest, with the bathrobe open with the roses leading to the bed, I'm going to start crying because that would be hilarious. And, it would be funny, but.
You can head up. And I was like, okay. And then Jack comes up to me and he whispers, he goes, after they bring your luggage upstairs, up to your room, call me and we can hang out. He was like, are you down to hang out? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I didn't know, like, I don't know. I thought we were all going to hang out. There was a bar. Everybody was talking about the bar in the hotel. So I didn't know what we were going to do. I didn't know what hanging out consisted of. But I knew, like, you know, I thought we were probably going to go to the bar or whatever. Because on the airplane, they let me get wasted. Like, I was damn near drunk when we got to Houston because they let me drink on the airplane. I didn't think they were going to let me because they were, like, responsible for me at the time. Wow. I know I was grown, but you guys are technically responsible for me. So I didn't think they were going to let me drink, but they let me drink. So I was like, all right, whatever. And so I thought we were going to drink some more. Clearly, they get lit. I go to my room, and they bring my bags, and I call them, and I call him, and I go, hey, like, they brought my bags. And he goes, okay, I'm going to come over. And I was like, okay. So he comes in and he's like, oh, we can hang out in here. And I was like, okay. Mind you, at this point, it's like almost 3 a.m. And so my room had 2 beds. So I was on one bed and he was on another bed. And we were watching, what do you know? Take a wild guess. So we were just watching TV and then I'm like on my phone and I post a picture on Instagram and with like with a caption because I write poetry. So he was just like, oh, like, you know, your poetry's really dope and blah blah. And I'm like, thank you. And we were just talking about that. And for once, I felt like we were having like a cool conversation and he wasn't being a damn weirdo, you know. So then it's like a long pause, and then a few minutes later he goes, do you want to smoke? And I was like, no, I don't smoke. And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, you can smoke, like, in here, I don't care. And he was just like, no, I was just seeing if you smoked or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. Then he goes, do you want to cuddle? And I was like,
all right. We might have to watch part 2 later on.
Okay, good.
But yeah. Now I wanna let you give your thoughts before I give my thoughts. What are you thinking?
I kind of believe her.
Kind of believe? What made you start believing her?
First of all, I never said I didn't believe her.
But
I
like when the video begun,
I have my opinions.
Okay.
Just like everybody else.
All right.
But like from what she's saying, it's like I feel like you just can't make that up. You know?
Is that the only reason why you believe her?
No, like
because you can just make that up.
I mean, you can, but like for her to go into detail like this and really expose herself,
Crystal,
like
anybody can just make that up.
Okay, but you know how like what she can face after this, like legally, like she can either get locked up, she can get like sued for this, like hella shit.
But
like, why would she just
but
do
what
that
if
to
people?
herself?
Let's hear me out. What if she did just make that up?
And she actually went
and people like you just say, "Oh, she can't possibly make that up," and she get away with it. Look, this is my thoughts. First of all, it's just like I said, we watched the show. And really, we only know him from the show. Like I never seen him outside the show or anything like that. So, but just based off what I know from the show, it's hard to really think of him in that type of way or see him doing any of the stuff that she was saying.
I kind of believe.
But two, it's like my whole thing is like, why would you put yourself in this position, right? Of just being alone with him in the room when the whole time you just telling us about how weird, creepy, and thirsty, and all of you felt uncomfortable around him and all this other stuff. Like if you feel uncomfortable around somebody,
she was lonely.
If you feel uncomfortable around somebody and you get a vibe that they're kind of, like you get that kind of vibe from them, why would you then put yourself in a situation to where you're in the room alone with them?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Like I said, I'm not saying she's lying. I'm not saying she's telling the truth. I'm just giving my thoughts on it, and I don't understand certain parts about this whole thing. We definitely got to watch part 2. Let us know if you want to see us post it. Might just watch it just to watch it. We might react to it. Let us know down below in the comments what you think we should do. But this whole situation is really weird, and if that's true, if all of this is true, gotta get him out of here, fam.
I'm good with just Max.
Nah, they probably gonna shut the whole show down.
Why would they do that?
It's probably wraps. It's probably wraps for the whole show.
Because it did start with Neve, though.
Yeah, it's probably wraps for the whole show. So, but if it's true, he gotta go. You feel me? You got to get the step.
No.
Look now she gonna change the whole opinion because she don't want the show to go away. Like what type of what?
I don't know because I gotta see part 2. Like I can't really give because she basically was just rambling.
First of all, this on this first video is hard to tell exactly what he did. Like I don't know what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like
besides just
what is she? What is she accusing him of? Because it sounds like he just flirting really hard and just being really forward about everything. That's what it sounds like to me.
Thirsty.
Because like if it was a regular dude on the street doing this type of stuff, she wouldn't have made a YouTube video about it. So I wonder what they saying in part 2. Because part 2 might have that work.
Can you just watch it?
Part 2 might have that work.
We're just about to react to it too.
Part 2 might have that work in it. We'll see, man. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to see more reactions, go ahead and leave a like on the video. And until next time, SC fam.
What's good?
What's good, though? Yeah.